Scissor beak, or lateral deviation if you want to be correct about it, is a very complicated bird beak issue. If we want to get it fixed, first we gotta catch the bird. People always want to know, how do I get the bird in the towel? And it's probably less complicated than you'd like to think. Taka is a female Congo African gray parrot, and she's been one of my clients for years. We know each other very well, and I've been helping her work on her beak for quite a while. Scissor beak is a type of malocclusion, which means a misalignment that causes the growth to be irregular. Beaks are constantly growing, just like our fingernails, and they're made of the same material, which is keratin. With normal use, the beak should be wearing down naturally and not need trimmed. But when misalignment occurs like this, the wearing edges are not meeting up like they're supposed to, so the beak is no longer wearing down in a natural way. And to make matters worse, it can continue to push the beak into even more of a misalignment. Taka's scissor beak was not due to a birth defect, it was an injury later in life. So no matter how many chewing items she has, she cannot wear her own beak down. Scissor beak should always be corrected by an avian vet or technician as soon as it is noticed to prevent further issues. This is not something that you should try to tackle on your own. A parrot's beak is full of blood vessels and nerves. They're actually quite sensitive to the touch. But the part that's being removed is completely inert and no longer alive, just like the end of your fingernail. Underneath a thick layer of keratin on the outside is the more meaty growing layer, and underneath of that is bone. The bone is not solid, it's full of air pockets. You may already be aware that most birds' bones are hollow, but that's not just to reduce weight for flying. A bird's bones are also a very important part of their respiratory system. They're pneumatized just like our sinuses, and this intricate system is connected to the bird's 9 air sacs. The air sacs, which are located in different positions throughout the body, work together as a bellows system, pushing air through the lungs. The lungs themselves are stationary and don't move at all because birds have no diaphragm. But this means that the bird is taking in fresh oxygen when inhaling and exhaling. They need this continuous supply of oxygen for flight. Now it's time to check the alignment. Taka's beak is sitting in a much more natural position. This has to feel so much more comfortable for her. After all that, she deserves a good beak massage. I'm using hemp oil, but you can also use coconut oil or any food-safe oil except avocado because it's toxic to birds. Taka did amazing today, and I'm lucky to count her as one of my birdie friends. She's looking and feeling back to her normal self again. Beak trim should not be considered typical for most birds, but they are necessary for some. And I, for one, love a good transformation.